Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about Hakubo, also called Twilight, which was a random choice this week. But before that, we just kind of caught up with each other a little bit. Just didn't do too much, just kind of relaxed and chatted for a couple of minutes. But if you want to catch a part of that wider conversation, you can go to patreon.com/featured anime podcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content and more. And if you so choose to support us through other means, you don't have to join our Patreon. You can also go to our affiliate link in the show notes for Tokyo Treats and get yourself some nice tasty treats when you use Tokyo Treats, our affiliate link for Tokyo Treat. Along with coupon code Featured Anime, you get $5 off your first box. And trust me, these treats are delicious. Before we even started recording, I was talking to Rick about them and telling you, I usually do really great on my diets and eating healthy and everything like that. But when these boxes come in, all goes out the window. I just gorge myself on the deliciousness that is in every single box. And I can promise you, you will enjoy it. Also, if you want to support us through other means, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com, or to get links and access to everything else to find out all the wonderful information about us, you can go to featuredanimepodcast.com and go there to submit recommendations, find out about us, and everything like that. It truly does help us out as well. And now on to the me and brotatoes. Hakubo came out in June 2019. Studio for it is Twilight Studio. It is an original. It's a slice of life romance drama anime, and it ran, credits included, for 52 minutes. I say credits included because 7 minutes of it, Rick, would you say was credits?
At the end, yeah. And then at the beginning, it was another, 3 or 4?
Yeah, it wasn't that long in the beginning, but
It felt like it.
I'll tell you this right now. I feel like I didn't read through it, but I feel like maybe the ending credits was more kind of an homage at the end. And we'll kind of dive into it here in a moment. But Hakubo revolves around the daily life of Sachi, a high school violinist girl who has a lot of talent, and they do reference and talk a lot about, or not talk a lot about, but they do reference the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami that happened in 2011, several years ago when this came out, and basically they kind of reference it and talk about it a little bit, and Sachi's the comments are basically made about how she's trying to smile again, and it looks like she's having life come back, and it's basically a journey for her and Yusuke, the boy she meets, who's an artist, kind of grow and basically fall in love with each other because they both had a experience dealing with that horrific event. Yeah,
and one of the things that you could say is it didn't feel like it was a standalone. You know what I mean? It felt like there was supposed to be something else, either as a prelude or I don't even know quite how to say it. It didn't feel by itself. It felt like it relied on something else. It felt like
we came in at the tail end of a series, is what it felt like.
Yeah, I was gonna say the way everything was set up, it felt like we were supposed to already know and be emotionally attached to these characters, and we weren't.
Right. Well, I mean, so to be fair, right? What I feel like, and this is my personal conjecture, this was someone's own viewpoints, or not viewpoints, but their own kind of experiences in dealing with what happened back in 2011. Now, for those who don't know about the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, what happened was it was a very massive earthquake that happened off of the coast of northeastern Japan. It was over a 9 magnitude earthquake that happened in the ocean. What happened then was a tidal wave came in and took out large swaths of land. It resulted in nearly 20,000 dead. People lost their homes and just massive damage and destruction everywhere. And people's lives were upended. Also resulted in nuclear reactors that people use for electricity to break down. And, if
I remember that.
Yeah. So this is basically kind of the aftermath for these two kids who are trying to struggle with and move past it that just can't. And they do make reference to it, right? So Yusuke, he basically talks a little bit about it and his experiences. And then Sachi basically dreams about Yusuke, and they drive through an area that is basically destroyed almost or ran down. And so if you truly remember what happened back then, and you lived in the area, I feel like this would have been a show where a majority of people would have truly understood. They would have connected with it on a vastly different level. And I feel like the people, everyone in Japan, seeing this and it being an original, well, to us, it feels like it should have been at the tail end of something. For them, it may more so be along the lines of, hey, this is me trying to cope with the events that happened several years ago, because they may have, the writer may have lost someone, or they may have been one of the people who had their lives affected by this.
So you feel it's kind of like a homage or some kind of closure kind of thing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not a period piece so much as an open letter to those who were affected kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely does have sentimental notes to it, and the music in here, which it plays a rather strong part. I think it flows rather well. And when our main character isn't playing the violin, she's basically having a normal life. It felt like a slice of life, which I assume it is.
Yeah.
Or a daily life of a
You need to listen
girl.
to me, man. You need to listen. I said it at the beginning.
No, yes, you did, but you've also, so some of the slice of lives we've seen don't feel like slice of life. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily, the title's there because they go through the motions. This didn't feel like motions. This felt like a legitimate, you were part of their life. You saw their day to day. And typically, I want to say I don't like them just because of the principle, but I think my track record shows that might not necessarily be the case.
Might is certainly not a strong enough word, man. You and I both know it's some of your most highly rated shows, and it's it's a lot of the ones that you love, a lot of the ones that you hated for the longest time. It's like, I hate Slice of Life, but this show that you recommended to me, that you love, that is one of the best shows you said you've ever seen. Yeah, is a Slice of Life. No.
Yeah, I don't think it counts. It doesn't count. We don't. That's in the past.
100% counts. 100%
like
counts.
Mufasa says. We not Mufasa. I just messed that one up. I was gonna say, like Rafiki says, you either learn from it or you're doomed to repeat it. I'm learning from it. I can't quite say that it's 100% bad. Actually, it's not even close to 100%. It's really close to 100% good. I just don't like to feel like the way the shows make me feel. Unfortunately, here that because it's so short and because it's I would say lacking in the available time to get to force you to have some kind of connection, you unfortunately lose a lot. And some of the key points in the movie that make you want, like in any other instance, that would make you want to relate to the main characters and stuff like that, you just don't. You just look at it from the outside looking in like, that was supposed to be harder hitting than it currently is.
Yeah.
That was supposed to make me feel like, they're going to make it, and not so much.
Yeah, no, this definitely was one of the shows that made you kind of just, it was like it was there. You kind of went on the journey with them, and you can kind of like pick up like, oh, this person is trying to like definitely try to move past something. But I don't know. I feel like the writing could have been done better, right? They could have made it feel like we weren't coming in at the tail end of something.
Yeah.
Like how it felt to me.
Yeah. I mean, they were very cliched tropes. One of the main character's friends is boy crazy. Now, typically that'd be the reverse, where you'd have a group of 3 guys and one of them is not a womanizer, because that would imply that he was successful at any point in time, but just jealous of everyone else's interaction and super accusatory, like, oh, you're going to go see so-and-so, or you're going to see a boy, or you're going to see a girl, and teach me your ways, kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas here, it was funny. It was comedic relief. It felt kind of forced, kind of annoying, to be perfectly honest, at the way that it goes about it. Because so our main character goes to a particular location every time she has the opportunity, because she's able to see the gold or the green twilight, which I'm not quite sure is a thing. I was meaning to look it up prior to this.
Are you questioning the authority?
Of course. Well, no, here's the thing. I've seen the sky illuminate in vast colors, but I don't think I've ever seen green except for like Aurora Borealis or some effects in a similar fashion. So and the way that they described it is during a sunset, during the twilight, you'll be able to see one row, if you call it one, it's not a column, but one strip of green for a little bit of time. And I thought that was really cool, but it also could deal with some kind of radiation in the air. I was not aware that it had to do with the earthquakes and
well, the green like twilight doesn't have anything to do with the earthquakes. The story of what happened in 2011 does, but them looking up the sky going, oh, it's green, doesn't have to do with the earthquakes. Okay.
So the reason why I'm stretching is when the nuclear reactors needed to be shut off, essentially, it threw a bunch of radiation in the air and the sea and the land. So I was thinking maybe it was a faux Aurora Borealis effect.
No, because
but again, that's throwing a lot of science into it that may or may not make sense.
Well, no, I mean, like what you're doing is you're stretching for something that happened. It's like years later, this is the effect. It's like, no, you can actually have a green twilight. You can't, it is a thing. It can be green. How green it is another story entirely, but
I mean, okay. Now, again, I've never seen it. I just thought it was interesting. I thought it was, I thought it was due to certain other factors. And then when you brought up the earthquake for the timeline, I was like, oh, maybe, but probably not. And I just looked it up. It says the green flash is a phenomenon that occurs at sunset and sunrise when conditions are favorable. So yeah, apparently it's just a natural thing that happens occasionally when it's either very, very crisp or very dry. So that's.
So yes, it is not because
cool.
of some faux science that you're.
Hey, I was stretching because it didn't make sense.
Godzilla was walking along the coast, and
the ionized beam.
Exactly, it was floating through the air.
It's fighting.
Them's fighting words. Them's fighting words. No, but honestly, I mean, like the show, it was a 45-minute movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this movie was not. It was not deep in substance. It really, honestly, it wasn't. I mean, like, between you and I don't have a terrible lot to say about it. I mean, we could try.
Unfortunately,
we genuinely could try, but
I want to say more about it, but nothing. The only thing I could say is if it relates to you, if you feel like you are one of the age group that our main characters are in, or if you've experienced something similar, then maybe it'll resonate with you.
Maybe,
but
maybe I don't know. I mean,
I don't. There's nothing truly bad about it. The animation was good. The music was above average.
I mean, like the animation was okay. Like they had some
I was
funky
confused.
facial or hand animations.
Yeah, but it was so clear. I thought it was a Miyazaki film at first.
Oh,
And my wife, when she was watching it with, no, hear me out. When my wife was watching it with me, she was like, "Is this a Miyazaki?" I'm like, "No, it's not." But I can understand why you'd think that.
if you say so. I did not get that feeling at all from this.
Well, it was from the landscape and the food and stuff like that.
Even then I didn't like, but I mean, like,
hey, to each their own. Like you have a far more critical eye. You probably have perfect vision too. No glasses needed.
Oh yeah, no, whatnot. I don't need glasses yet.
I don't either. I hope. But yeah, no. Going back to it, it's all in all, it's a decent period piece. Assuming you can be a part of it. It has a very, very light romantic theme to it. And what I mean by that is our main character meets Yusuke. That's it, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say whenever you meet a Yusuke, they're usually important. But he's a painter, whereas she is a violinist.
Right.
And the way that
he's not, I wouldn't say that he's important. I mean,
well, he kind of is. He's the love interest.
He is the love interest, but I mean, like,
but he's got his own past and stuff like that, and
everyone has their own past. I mean, like, you can't.
What I mean is, the reason they tried to make him important, the reason that they tried to make him relevant to her, was, oh, I had a first love once that you remind me of, kind of.
Well, no, it's not.
You reminded me of her.
Well, it's not.
That's what I got out of it.
Well, yeah, you could say that that's what you got out of it, but that's not what he said. And it's just like, oh, I was thinking about her, and the reason why he was thinking about her is because she was his first love when they were in middle school, and I mean, whatever, bro. I mean, that's cool. Well, I got nothing against you and your first love. I don't know. They weren't the thing. I get it. They're angsty high schoolers, teenagers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't. I thought it was. I didn't think it was great. I didn't.
Wasn't
think it was
one
great.
of your favorites, huh?
No, the whole thing is like him and hawing. I paused. To me, it was a short movie. It had no real substance, but it felt like it took forever. It felt like it took forever. And when I paused it at 20 minutes in, I was going, dear God, why?
What I did notice was the pauses in between conversations. Like it's a 40, let's be generous. It's a 45-minute movie that has about
10 minutes of substance.
I was going to say 25 minutes of dialogue. Maybe 30 minutes of dialogue. Everything else is just following, walking around, listening to the rehearse, listening to them play, watching stuff, looking at stuff. It's very visually dense.
I mean, it is. It is visually dense.
So, I mean, a lot of effort was put into it. Other than I just wish that they didn't blow their whole budget on visuals.
I mean, honestly,
a slightly better story in my mind would have been way better.
I feel like they tried riding on the coattails a little bit of Your Lie in April.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. I
don't think they did. Good. Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think they were effectively doing it. But I'm just
they
saying.
Took the show's they took the show's idea and was like, hey, everyone likes this. What if we changed a few things? I mean, honestly, if they turned it into a series that was 12 episodes long and they allowed you to become emotionally invested,
it would have been good.
A heck of a lot harder.
It would have been better. It would have been far better. But you know what? I mean, the studio. Right. So the studio, Twilight Studio, they have such a wonderful long track record of all these works that they've done.
I can't tell if you're being facetious or not.
Being facetious.
Okay. What's their long list of accolades, sir?
This movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that explains a lot.
Right?
Again, I can't knock it because, I watched it. It's on my TV. It's something out there. Whereas if someone wanted it, someone paid for it, someone encouraged it, you found it.
It feels like this was just a passion project, right?
Yes.
So they made the studio just to make the anime and then that was it. And that was it. They moved on with their lives. They're like, all right, this is my passion project. Done.
Check. Done.
All right. My goal is complete.
Yeah. You would think that given how much it costs to make a movie like that, you'd have a better story.
You would think. Yes. They threw in
a lot of key points that hit hard and hit home in a lot of areas, but for some reason here it just didn't.
Yeah. So
anyway, I unfortunately you're right. There's not much more we can say.
Yeah. So
I mean, watch it if you want to. If you're bored, if you've got nothing real better to do.
If you have a vested interest in like anything related to what happened in 2011, this is basically an effect of that having happened, right? This movie came about. It came about because of someone that wanted to try and heal, and this is how they chose to heal. They made a studio, and they were like, "All right, let's roll with this." So,
yeah,
more power to them. That's all I gotta say. More power to them. All right. Well, I got nothing else I can genuinely say about this. How about you, sir?
I'm unfortunately right there with you.
All right. So, on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate this one?
I don't want to give it a 3. It definitely does not deserve a 2 or a 1. No, I'm going to have to give it a 3. I give it a 3. It's not something I would actively look for again. It wasn't all bad, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay. For me, I also got to give it a 3. There's no conflict about that. Reason why I'm not going any lower than a 3 is because the scenery animation was good. The music was good. Dialogue was bad. The facial and body animations was bad. And like, if it had some they wrote enough in there for you to kind of pick up what they're laying down. I just feel like you were shortchanged on it as a whole.
Fair enough.
So, all right. Next week, sir, we are going to be watching Ice.
Ice, baby.
Exactly. Except not that ice. The anime is called Ice. Not freeze, but ice.
Cool. Right. I look forward to it.
Indeed. We'll see. So, that's all the time that we have for today. I understand this week's episode is really, really, really short. The movie was also really, really, really short, and it did not have a lot of substance. So it kind of is what it is. They all can't be winners. Sometimes we gotta, we gotta have
ones like this to appreciate the good ones.
Exactly. Except we've had a couple bad ones in a row. Hopefully we don't end up on another streak where we ended up in back to back bad ones, but we'll find out. We'll see how next week goes.
Next week on us.
Right. Well, if you feel like we got something right, something wrong, did it too much justice, not enough justice, or anything like that, feel free to let us know. Reach out to us. You can find all our contact information on featuredanimepodcast.com. If you like what we do and you want to help support us, help us grow, and get yourself some bonus content occasionally, you can go to patreon.com/featuredanimepodcast. $8 a month will get you access to some bonus content and other goodies on there as well. And if you want to support us through other means, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com and buy yourself some swanky swag. Also, if you so choose to buy yourself some delicious treats, or you know what, you have someone special you want to buy a little something for, give them a nice little treat, show them you truly care, go to Tokyo Treats with our affiliate link in the show notes and use coupon code FEATUREDANIME. Get yourself $5 off your first box. And trust me, when you give your loved one this My Valentine's box that's coming out for February, be my Valentine. They certainly do mean it, and it is worth it. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.